Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about Chanel and Chanel's price increase. Yes, once again I have to be the bearer of bad news. As of November 3rd this week, there will be yet again another Chanel price increase, and once again it is pretty whopping across the board. So I'm going to share with you what I know at this point. I also want to share my thoughts on whether or not I will be purchasing Chanel ever again, and also my thoughts on Chanel versus Hermes, because there's a lot of talk about that. Some people are saying they're going to move away from Chanel and move towards Hermes. So I do have my own point of view I will share, but let me just go straight into the price increases. Here's a snapshot that was posted on PurseBop. If you are not already following PurseBop on Instagram, I highly recommend that you do. They are usually the first to post any kind of like fashion news updates, and when there are price increases, they are very quick to share out. So this was the very first source where I found out about the price increases, and you can see here they have the wallet on chain, the mini rectangular, the small classic flaps, the medium, the jumbo, and also the maxi. And look at the maxi price, you guys. It's now going to be $10,000, which is what many of us predicted, that the maxi would hit 5 figures pretty soon, given the pace in which Chanel is increasing their prices. But just to see it now in real numbers, it's crazy. It just feels crazy. So look at the percentage increases. So this, like I said, I want to credit PurseBop for, because they posted this a few days ago, but I created my own geeky spreadsheet, as I always like to do. If you've been on my channel before, you'll know, because I wanted to see the full history. Now, I don't have the numbers for the reissues, the Chanel 19s or the boys, but my guess is that they're going to be impacted as well. I'm just going to fold this over so we can really focus on the ones that we know for sure. At least we have confirmation. I wanted to look at the history, not just what's happening as of November, but let's look at the history here, because it is bananas. So here, the wallet on chain, I'll show you just some eye candy. We can't look at just numbers because that's going to get boring. So here's the beautiful classic wallet on chain. In 2020, this was retailing for $2,500 in the boutiques, and this one here had not seen a price increase for about 5 years. So I got this in 2019 for this price. Then it went up, and I don't know if this is accurate. These numbers here, 3050 to 3100, something's a little wonky here. What I do know for sure is that it is going up to 3500, and that is a 12.9% increase. But let's look at something even more crazy. From the same exact time last year to now, with the new price that we're anticipating, it is a 40% increase. 40% increase in 1 year. Let's just pause and absorb that. 40%. Imagine if your mortgage went up by 40%, or your rent went up by 40%, or better yet, your income went up by 40%. I mean, we'd all love that, but this is insanity. So this little thing, I don't even know what to say about this little cutie here, which I love and I use it a lot, and it's one of my favorites in my collection, but that's a lot to go for this. I mean, I'm stumbling over my words because it's just a lot to digest. The mini square flap was $3,600 the same time last year. It is going up to $4,800. I have this in italics because I'm not 100% sure. This one here was not posted on the PurseBop website, nor is it posted anywhere else that I can find online, but I'm guesstimating it to be $4,800 as of the new price increase, because if you look at the mini rectangular flap, it went from $3,800 to $4,200 to $4,400, and now it's going to be $5,000. So here's the mini. Okay. And if it goes up at the same pace as the mini rectangular, I am expecting this here to go to $4,800, which is a 14.3% increase from last summer, or this summer, I should say, this summer. Are you guys following here? And a 33.3% increase from the same time last year. This little guy here. And I'm basing those numbers off of what I see happening on the mini rectangular, because they usually treat them about the same. Okay, sorry. There are loud sirens passing by, but I'm going to keep going. So the mini rectangular is expected to go up to $5,000, as I said. That is a 31.6% increase from last year. 13.6% increase from this summer. Whichever way you look at it, and whichever way you look at the math, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I don't know what Chanel's doing. People are saying that Chanel's trying to be like Hermes, but let's be real here. Chanel quality is nowhere near like Hermes quality nowadays. And that brings me to my vintage, my 6 Series, 20-year-old, beautiful lambskin, classic flap in the medium size. This is probably the best one out of all of these here in terms of quality, even though it's the most aged. It's the oldest one. So I guess silver lining here is that if you're still into Chanel and you want to get one of their classic bags, you have the pre-loved market, you have the vintage route if you're interested. I mean, if I told you how much I got this for, I think you guys would be floored. You already know if you've been on my channel before. I got this for under $4,000 a couple years ago. It's gorgeous. So let me see here. The classic small went from $5,800 same time this year to, do I even have to, I can't even say this. It's like I'm going to vomit. Look at these numbers. $5,800 last year to $8,200. Like what the? So it's a 41.4% increase year over year. If you saw those returns on like your stock market and like your stock investments, we'd all be cheering and dancing in the streets. I mean, this is phenomenal, the numbers we're talking about. Okay, I don't know. I don't have the classic flap in the small size, so I have nothing to show you. But here again is the medium. Went from $6,500, now going to $8,800. That's more than $2,000 increase in a year. So look at the progression: 65, 68, 78, 88. What is Chanel thinking? Like, if you gradually do this little by little, it's like death by paper cuts. It's not any less painful if you do it little by little by little, but constantly and frequently. And it's like they're toying with us. Gosh. Okay. So year over year, that's a 35.4% increase. I want to show you this year over year look because if you just look at the last price compared to the new price, it's like, it's still a lot, but you got to look at the full picture to see how sick this is. It's just crazy. Now, of course, I will caveat this with nobody needs these things. None of these are necessities. We have absolute control over how we spend our money. And if you don't want to spend your money on a Chanel bag, then don't. And if you don't feel it's worth it, then don't. And I said I'm going to share my point of view on this. I will before I end the video. But for those of us who love Chanel and love the heritage and the story and just the iconic image of Gabrielle Chanel, Coco Chanel, and this very kind of classic look with the quilting and the chain. If you really live and breathe Chanel and you love it from a fashion standpoint and an aesthetic standpoint, this sucks. This absolutely sucks because you might have to choose to walk away from the brand. You may not want to do that. So this one here is the newest one that I purchased, and I honestly hemmed and hawed over this because when I got it, it was $6,800, and I thought, sheesh, that's a lot of money, especially compared to my vintage. But, I really love this color. I wanted to add the beige clear, and I got it from the boutique, and now it's crazy. I couldn't even believe when I went up to $7,800, and now they're saying $8,800. I am just, it's not even about affordability, because I think most people who buy luxury goods can either afford it or they save up for it, right? I hope that nobody's going into debt for these silly things. I hope that you're not overextending yourself for these kinds of things. At the end of the day, they're just purses where you plop your stuff in to carry stuff around, right? So let's not go crazy here. But I mean, I don't know. Is it worth it anymore? The quality and what it is, the materials even, the cost of materials. Okay, there's the name, there's a brand, there's the story of Chanel, but is it worth it? $8,800 plus tax here in New York City, that's going to be almost $10,000. All right, let's move to the jumbo here. Here's my jumbo. Here, just give you a quick look. I got this pre-loved. It's a single flap. I got a great deal on this, paid under $4,000, you guys. The jumbo, it's going up to $9,500. It started at $7,100 same time last year. Then you see here went to $74, $85. I mean, they're just like leaps and bounds here. So here is the percentage increase from the last price, but here is the overall year over year, 33.8%. And then the maxi, which I don't have, is yeah, $10,000. $10,000. So 7,700. Looks like it stayed still in January, but then jumped quite a bit in July. Not sure if these are all accurate, but I did the best that I could. And then went up again, or is going up again. So that's going to be almost 30% increase year over year. $10,000 for the maxi. I'm going to show you. I'm going to just scooch these aside. I want to show you just to give you something to think about. Now, if you are gung-ho Chanel, then you're gung-ho Chanel and you decide how you want to spend your money. But here is my Birkin. This is the 30 size. It's the gold togo with the palladium hardware. I got this from the boutique at $11,000 this summer. So think about it. This is $11,000 retail. The maxi is going to be $10,000 retail. Pretty much about the same price, ballpark. So you tell me now, aesthetically, they're totally different. So if you love the look of the Chanel, then that's where you may choose to spend your money, right? There's no right or wrong answer here. But the Birkin is the Birkin, and Hermes is just absolutely known for their consistent quality and their craftsmanship. And they're now in the same ballpark price-wise, so it kind of makes you think, right? At least for me, it makes me think twice. So yeah, you can tell based on, here's my little organizer from 7RP, and this is the tissue paper stuffing. Anyway, you can tell where my heart lies because I have more Chanel than Hermes. But I mean, if we're going to think longevity, quality, craftsmanship, and even like service, customer service, long-term spa service, care service, I feel like Hermes would win most times. Let me also show you this as just to kind of compare. Here is my mini Evelyn, and this I got from the boutique. I think it was last year, $1,800. I think I did a comparison video of these two. I'm not sure. I remember someone requested, and I think I did it. If I can find it, I'll link it up above. So to me, these are both mini bags. They hold roughly about the same. This one here, the mini rectangle, probably holds a little bit more, but they're in the same ballpark in terms of sizing, right? So now think about it. You could get this one here for $1,800, or you can get this one here for $5,000, and then add on taxes. Right? So it's kind of crazy. Even if you were to say, no, the mini Evelyn doesn't compare to the mini rectangle. Okay, so then let's compare it to the Wok. Okay, this definitely is comparable in terms of the capacity of items that it can hold in each bag. So let's look at this. Again, mini Evelyn, $1,800. Wok, $3,500. Does it make you pause? For me, Chanel is very different from Hermes. They're two totally different beasts. So for me, it's very strange to compare these two because they're apples and oranges. But if we're talking price, and we're talking just across the board, we are luxury handbag lovers, then it's got to make you pause, right? So I thought that would be interesting just to kind of quickly compare. Will I ever purchase another Chanel classic flap again, or a Chanel classic bag in general? Never say never. But at this point, no. I cannot see myself getting another one, mainly because I feel that I have everything that I want in my collection at this point. I feel very content and don't feel like there are many gaps or any gaps. But on top of that, I cannot justify the price. I cannot justify this being $8,800 plus taxes, close to 5 figures. The good news, however, though, is for those of us who already own some of these Chanel classics, I mean, it's retaining its value because the retail prices are going up. So it's like in a way, for those of us who have, it's kind of a good thing. If we ever decide to pass this on to someone like my daughter, then it's worth more at that point. If you ever decide to resell because you change your mind and your taste change, then you could probably recoup a lot of your money. So in that way, that's why sometimes people call these bags investments. I don't consider them investments. I truly don't. They're luxury material goods that are meant to be used and worn, but I can understand why sometimes they're referred to as being investments because they hold their value, and that is largely driven by the fact that the prices on the retail market go up. If they didn't, then we would not be able to hold the value in our closets. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, but I don't think I will purchase anymore. I don't need any more. I don't want any more. So, but I do feel for those of you who have been saving, especially if you're looking to buy your very first Chanel classic bag. And I mean, these prices are insane. They're also talking about becoming much more exclusive, meaning they are implementing purchase limits, just like Hermes. They're probably going to make a lot of these classic bags much more difficult to attain, much more difficult to access. Up until now, you would be able to go into a boutique and just say, hey, do you have any of these? Could I take a look? But they're starting to say without a purchase history, you may not be able to purchase any of these classic bags, which I think is ridiculous because as a first-time buyer, usually most people want a classic bag, a classic flap specifically. And if you need to have a purchase history to get that, it's like they're controlling your entry point. So what, you buy a couple of SLGs, maybe some ready-to-wear pieces, some costume jewelry, all stuff maybe you don't even really want or get super excited about, all to build up to get the classic flap. I think that's silly. It's annoying. And I feel the same about Hermes. I have always said this, that I don't want to play the game. I don't want to buy a bunch of things that I don't care for just to get a Birkin, which is why I was very grateful when I was offered the Birkin because I hadn't really bought that many things. And the things that I did purchase from Hermes, I absolutely wanted and loved, like my mini Eveline and some of my jewelry pieces. So yeah, this is all turning into a very complicated game, which I don't know, for me, I'm losing tolerance for. I guess I'm in a position where I can easily step away because I feel content with what I have, but I could only imagine how frustrating it is for some of you who, either are collectors and want to continue to accumulate and grow your collection, or especially for those of you who have been saving diligently to buy your very first one. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I think that a lot of people are going to consider Hermes, but of course, it's not like you could just get whatever you want from Hermes. There's so much inventory control there, and the relationship with the sales associate is important. So it's just as strictly and tightly managed on that end. I know some people have said that you're moving away from Chanel and moving towards Dior, or will you go to some other brands, or will you go to some boutique brands or lesser known or contemporary, or there's so many options out there. So just wanted to make this video. I am getting tired of tracking the prices. I really am. So I don't know if I'm going to keep making these videos. If you'd like me to, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know that it's worth it for me to track and report out these things. But I got to be honest with you, I'm getting tired of it and it's becoming way too frequent. Oh man, Chanel, they at least get the quality right. At least get the quality right so that we can't balk at the prices. But quality is going down, prices are going up, and customers are getting more and more agitated. So that's not a really great strategy, you guys, right? I hope somebody from Chanel is watching, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, all right, I'm going to end it here. Hope this video was helpful and informative. Some of you are probably going to try to run out and do some panic buying, but historically, I've found that right before a price increase, the stores are wiped out, or the shelves are at least wiped out in terms of very, very little inventory. I think they manage that as well. They probably don't put out a lot of product, and then they'll push it out once the increase goes into effect, because if they can make $1,000 more by waiting 2 days, that's probably what they're going to do. So yeah. All right, let me know your thoughts below, please. I would love to hear your thoughts, your candid feelings on this. Are you going to walk away from the brand? Are you going to continue buying? Are you looking at other brands? If so, which ones? Just let me know how you're feeling. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.